कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। सब लोग अपनी अपनी जगह पे बैठ सकते हैं। यहां पर एक विशेष प्रवचन होगा अभी श्रीमान गौरंग दर्शन प्रभु जी के द्वारा, और प्रवचन होगा अंग्रेजी में। जिसको अंग्रेजी नहीं आती है उसके लिए पीछे ट्रांसलेशन होगा, अनुवाद किया जाएगा जहां पर चरणामृत बढ़ता है उस टेबल के पास। तो अभी जो प्रवचन होगा वो अंग्रेजी में होगा श्रीमद् भागवतम के 3रे स्कंद पे, और किसके द्वारा होगा? गौरंग दर्शन प्रभु जी के द्वारा। गौरंग दर्शन प्रभु जी इज अ वेरी वेरी सीनियर डिसाइपल ऑफ हिज होलीनेस राधानाथ स्वामी महाराज। प्रभु जी is Dean of Bhakti Vedant Vidyapith at Govardhan Eco Village, which is near Mumbai. Prabhuji has been serving there for last 15 years, and he has written over 35 books helping us understand Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhuji, from an education point of view, he is highly qualified. He has completed his MS from Indian Institute of Science, IISc Bangalore, which is considered to be India's topmost university. It is ranked even higher than IITs. So Prabhuji, from an education point of view, is also very learned. Prabhuji also had worked in corporate for a couple of years, and when he was doing his education and when he was working in the company, he has published in that tenure of 4 to 5 years, he has published over 10 articles on his subject matter, and he has a provisional patent on his name. So we can understand that it is not only that his deep understanding and deep study of devotional scriptures, but in professional life also he was very successful. But needless to say, he chose the path of bhakti. He decided that he want to share the wisdom which is there in the Vedic scriptures all over the globe, and he decided to become a full-time devotee, a full-time monk at ISKCON. So it was in the year 2009 that Prabhuji joined as a full-time monk at Chowpatty, ISKCON Chowpatty. And we are very fortunate at ISKCON Dwarka that we have Prabhuji with us today. So we would like all of you to welcome Prabhuji by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhuji की, ISKCON फाउंडर आचार्य जगत गुरु शीला प्रभुपाद की। अब आप लोगों से निवेदन है, 2 निवेदन है। एक तो कृपया शांति बनाए रखें यहाँ पर। ये प्रवचन अंग्रेजी में होगा, जिसको अंग्रेजी समझ में नहीं आती पीछे यहाँ पर हिंदी में ट्रांसलेशन होगा, वो वहाँ पर बैठ सकते हैं। और दूसरा निवेदन है कि अपना आत्मा और परमात्मा मोबाइल फोन उसको 2 घंटे के लिए साइलेंट मोड पे कर लें या बंद कर लें, ठीक है? हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा। Am I audible? जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामकुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगमय की यमुनमय की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणासिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pava Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for this second session on the third canto of Bhagavatam. This morning we discussed a quick summary and some prominent lessons of the first 15 chapters of the third canto of Bhagavatam. Now we will start from the 16th chapter. Should we have a quick preview of the first 15 chapters? Just tell me what you could remember from the first session. I think many of you were present. How many of you were present in the morning? Okay. Oh. Fine. Tell me. Just one lesson. Yes. Loudly. Oh, that's the most prominent lesson. Our heart is like home and our ear is like door. We can invite Krishna into the home of our heart by opening the ears and hearing about Krishna. Right? Thank you. One more lesson. Yes. Huh? You need to perform your services with full responsibility, but that responsibility should not lead to attachment. When the right time comes, retire in a renounced spirit. There is a time where you need to relinquish everything. So rule with responsibility and retire with renunciation. Okay, good lesson. One more. Yes. Excellent. Wow, I'm getting the cream of the morning discussion through all of you. Whenever we go in front of the deities to take darshan, it's not just that we are seeing him, he is also seeing us. And when his loving glances, affectionate glances fall on us, those glances create spiritual desires, maintain spiritual desires, and fulfill spiritual desires. Excellent. Any other lesson? Yes. So at the least expected moment, all our money, position, power, privileges, whatever we have could be taken away. But two things can never be taken away from us. What is that? Bhagavatam and bead bag. So we should hold on to those things which are permanent. In this life where we encounter so many changes, we need to hold on to those things that will never change. Okay? One more lesson? Yes. Krishna is more eager and enthusiastic to bestow mercy upon us than we are eager to receive that mercy. Okay? One last lesson. We did 5, right? Yeah. Okay. Yes. We only have one heart. That means we only have one seat in our home. So we should allow Krishna to sit there, not Mr. Lust, Mr. Envy, Mr. Pride, Mr. Greed to sit there. Thank you so much. Now let's continue. So morning we left our discussion where the 4 Kumaras, the sons of Brahma, came to Vaikuntha. They passed through 6 gates of Vaikuntha. They came to the 7th gate. Then the gatekeepers named Jaya and Vijaya obstructed these 4 Kumaras. They said, "You cannot enter." They look like 5-year-old boys. Vaikuntha is a serious place, not for kids. It is for kids also, don't worry. But the Jaya and Vijaya, these doorkeepers, they said that, "No, you cannot come." Then the 4 Kumaras became very angry. Prabhupada writes in the purport, whatever children want, they need to get. If they don't get, what will they do? They will cry. You will cry. When people don't give you what you wanted, generally kids cry, right? But these kids don't cry, they curse. These 4 Kumaras, they didn't cry. They cursed Jaya and Vijaya. You are not allowing us to enter Vaikuntha? What do you think? You are fearful that we will cause some harm in Vaikuntha? You are living in Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is a place where there should not be any misery or envy or any fear. But you are living in Vaikuntha having some anxiety or insecurity that we will come into a Vaikuntha and do some harm. I think you are not supposed to be in Vaikuntha. We curse you to go to the material world. So the 4 Kumaras angrily cursed Jaya and Vijaya because they did not allow them to enter the 7th gate. Then Lord Vishnu understood, there is some problem at the 7th gate of Vaikuntha. I must go and address it. So Lord Vishnu immediately ran towards this gate along with Lakshmi Devi and many other assistants. And for the first time the 4 Kumaras saw Lord Vishnu. Till now they only heard the description of Lord Vishnu from Brahma, but now they could see Lord Vishnu personally. Beautiful form. He was dazzling, wearing yellow dhoti, having 4 hands and bluish complexion, decorated with Kaustubhamani, a beautiful crown on his head. Amazing. And for the first time, they saw Lord Vishnu and there is a transformation in their minds. These 4 Kumaras earlier, they were Jnanis. Jnani means those are too much into knowledge, philosophical analysis, and not so much into devotion. Morning we discussed Maitreya Muni was also a Jnani at one point. So these 4 Kumaras were also like that. But as soon as they saw this beautiful form of Vishnu, there is a transformation in their mind. Tasyaravinda nayanasya padaravinda kinjalka mishra tulasi makaranda vayuhu antargatah svavivarena chakaratesham sankshobhamaksharajusham apichittatanvoh. Tasya aravinda nayanasya padaravinda. Aravinda nayana means one who has lotus-like eyes. Padaravinda means one who has feet like lotuses. You know why Krishna is compared with lotus many times, Vishnu is compared with lotus many times? Because lotus is considered one of the most beautiful objects in this world. But there is another reason. Not only that lotus is beautiful, where does lotus grow? In mud. although the lotus is growing from mud, growing from dirt, still the lotus is unaffected by that mud. Even the lotus leaf also, although living in water, it is waterproof. So the dirt around the lotus will not affect the lotus. Lotus remains pure, pristine and beautiful, and you can always pluck lotus and offer to the Lord. Just as lotus maintains its beauty and purity despite being in dirt, in a dirty and filthy place, similarly the Supreme Lord Krishna also maintains his beauty and purity despite coming to this dirty material world. Therefore Krishna is compared with lotus. Got it? So Lord Vishnu here, who is non-different from Krishna, so he looked so beautiful, and the four Kumaras became so happy seeing him. And Lord Vishnu has a natural, divine, spiritual fragrance. His body is very fragrant. And tulsi leaves are offered to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, and the tulsi leaves have their own fragrance. The natural bodily fragrance of Lord Vishnu mixed with the fragrance of this beautiful tulsi leaves entered the nostrils of four Kumaras, and that created a transformation in their minds and hearts, and they became pure devotees. They were not jnanis now, they are pure devotees now. That's why it is said that we need to smell tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. Jihve kirtaya keshavam muraripum cheto bhaja sridharam Panidvandva samarchayachyuta katha Shrotradvayatvam shrunu Krishnam lokaya lochanadvaya harer gacchangri yugmalayam Jighara ghrana mukunda pada tulasi Murdhana madhokshajam. We need to look at the Supreme Lord Krishna, his deity form, with our eyes. We should hear Krishna's beautiful stories and pastimes through our ears. And we should walk to Krishna's temple with our feet, with our legs. We should do various services to Krishna with our hands. And we should smell the tulsi leaves offered to Krishna's lotus feet with our nose. That's the best way of using all our senses. If our senses are coming in contact with material sense objects, we will be distracted in the material life more and more. But if you want to spiritualize your senses and enter the spiritual world by using the senses appropriately, better use them in a spiritual way for spiritual activities. So this is that transformation underwent by the four sages, four Kumaras. And Lord Vishnu came there and said, "Four Kumaras, I am really sorry." Lord Vishnu is saying apologies. Please forgive me. Why we should forgive you? Because my servants have done a mistake. When children do mistakes, parents feel ashamed. Similarly, when servants do mistakes, masters feel ashamed. And the Supreme Master Vishnu said, "Sorry, I am really sorry. My servants have offended you, did not allow you to enter Vaikuntha. Please forgive them." Actually, it is only because of you, glorious Brahmanas, that I am so fortunate. Yat sevaya charana padma pavitra renum sadyah kshatakhilam pratilabdha shilam nashrir viraktim apimam vijahati yasya prekshalavartha itare niyaman vahanti. Yat sevaya, only by rendering service to Brahmanas, charana padma pavitra renum, the dust from my lotus feet has become very sacred. And Mother Lakshmi Devi is constantly attached to serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. She is so attached to service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Although the Lord is not so interested in her, she is so obsessed to serve his lotus feet. How did the Lord acquire this kind of disposition that Lakshmi Devi is attached to him? And his foot dust is so sacred? It is because of his service to Brahmanas. That's what he says. It's not true, but he says like that. to pacify the four Kumaras. And he said many other things. And four Kumaras said, we are sorry, my dear Lord, our dear Lord. We cursed some innocent devotees. They felt guilty. But the Lord says, no, don't worry. Your service is my will. Your curse, the curse that you have given to four Kumaras is according to my will. Don't worry. Four Kumaras said, no, you can relieve them from the curse, no problem. Lord Vishnu said, no need. You will not, you don't have to relieve them from the curse. And four Kumaras saw the Lord and they left. And later Lord Vishnu told four Kumaras, Jay and Vijaya. He said, Jay and Vijaya, you have been cursed by them, it is sanctioned by me. We are your servants and you are sanctioning curse given by some visitors on us. There is a reason. Once upon a time, when Lakshmi Devi wanted to meet Vishnu, at the time Vishnu is resting, then Jay and Vijay stopped Lakshmi Devi also. They are servants, they are doing their service nicely, but that does not mean they will stop Lakshmi Devi also. They are supposed to. But Lakshmi Devi became a little upset. So that's the one reason why they had to go to the material world. But there are more reasons. Just like we have some desires, Lord Vishnu also has so many desires. In fact, because we are small amshas of the Lord, we also have some desires. But he has unlimited desires. One of the desires of the Lord is to fight. He also wants some fighting pleasure. In the Vaikuntha, if he fights with his own Vishnu Dutas, it doesn't look good, right? Doesn't look good. So, whenever he wants to fight, he comes to the material world and experiences that fighting pleasure. But who is there in the entire material world who can offer a proper, satisfying fight to the Lord? Nobody. So the Lord has to send fighters from Vaikuntha to fight with him. The Lord chose his fighting arena as the material world, and he chose his opponents from the spiritual world. Because nobody in the material world has the ability to fight with the Lord. Lord will slap and then this fellow will die. He will collapse for the next 10 lifetimes. So how can he fight? The Lord wanted a proper opponent, so he has imported all the fighters also from the spiritual world. So that's the reason. Just to offer fighting pleasure to Lord Vishnu, Jay and Vijay had to come down. So they came down in 3 lifetimes. First as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, demons. Second, Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Third, Shishupala and Dantavakra. So in 3 lifetimes they came. But they did not come down. Jay and Vijaya did not come to the material world as such. They continued to stay as gatekeepers in Vaikuntha. Only their partial expansions came to this material world and they took these demon forms and fought with the Lord. See, when Vishnu comes to this material world or Krishna comes to this material world in some incarnation, does it mean spiritual world is vacant? They lock the doors? Okay. I think for one yuga I am down, or some 1,000 years I am down. So Vaikuntha is closed. Goloka is closed. Not like that. The Lord is there also, the Lord is here also. Similarly, Jay and Vijay continue to stay in Vaikuntha and their expansions came to this material world to participate in Krishna's pastimes and offer him fighting pleasure. Clear? So, Lord Vishnu said, now you can go. So these 2 doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jay and Vijay, they entered the womb of Mother Diti because she did a mistake of uniting with her husband at a wrong time, inappropriate time. So Jay and Vijaya entered her womb and that created so much darkness. And this whole narration is given by whom? Lord Brahma to the Devatas. Brahma narrated the whole thing to the Devatas and then Devatas left. What did Brahma conclude with? He described Vaikuntha, he described the whole story of Jay and Vijaya cursing, 4 Kumaras cursing Jay and Vijaya, and he said, we can't do anything now, only Lord Vishnu has to descend and kill Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, then you will be peaceful. Then the Devatas left. Now, Eventually, Mother Diti, who held her pregnancy for 100 years, she gave birth to Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. There is no childhood lila, there is no baby Hiranyakashipu drinking milk, slowly growing up, playing football, playing cricket, nothing like that. So they took birth, and within no time they became so huge with bodies like as if they are steel bodies. And Hiranyaksha, he worshipped Brahma, he got so many boons from Brahma, and he became extremely powerful, and he started searching for a proper opponent. He went everywhere. He went everywhere begging people, you please fight with me, you please fight with me. He has lot of yuddha kanduti, eagerness to fight. So he was searching everywhere. He could not find a proper opponent. Then he entered the ocean. Who is the god of ocean? Who is that Devata who oversees all the water bodies? Varuna Dev. So Hiranyaksha went to Varuna Dev. He humbly fell at the feet of Varuna Dev and said, "Oh Varuna, I have a desire to fight. I am not finding anyone to fight. Can you fight with me?" Then Varuna Dev very politely said, "You may have a desire to fight, but I don't have a desire to fight. You may have so much capacity to fight, I don't have a capacity to fight. Why? I have become very old. So I can't offer you fighting pleasure. Only Lord Vishnu can offer you right fight. He can satisfy in fighting." "Oh really? Who is that Lord Vishnu? Where does he stay? I want to see him, I want to see him." Then Hiranyaksha started searching for Vishnu everywhere. He met Narada Muni. And Narada Muni said, "Yes, Vishnu is there in Garbhodaka ocean. Go and find him there." Then Hiranyaksha came to Garbhodaka ocean. Then he found Lord Vishnu in the form of a wild boar. What is the name of this boar? Which Varaha? Neela Varaha or Rakta Varaha. So he appeared there. He is looking, although he appeared in the form of a hog, he is so beautiful. He is extremely beautiful. So then there was a big fight. There was some lot of exchanges of harsh words. Hiranyaksha challenged Lord Varahadev, and Varahadev just spoke also little harshly to Hiranyaksha. After some verbal fight, there is physical fight with weapons, with mystic powers, so many things. And finally, after a long fight, Varahadev took his hand and slapped Hiranyaksha near his ear. Kaan ke niche. He just slapped him and Hiranyaksha died. He could have slapped initially only, but the Lord enjoyed fighting for some time, long time, and then he killed him just with a slap. Now, as the Lord is enjoying his fight with Hiranyaksha, and Hiranyaksha is finding so many weapons and creating some black arts and mystic arts to defeat Varahadev, all the Devatas are becoming anxious. All the sages were offering prayers. And even Brahma came and said, "Varahadev, don't play with this demon for a long time. Better kill him as early as possible." And it is Brahma who gave all boons to Hiranyaksha. Although Brahma and Shiva give some boons to some demons like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Shishupal, etc., etc. Not Shishupal, I think. Whatever. There are so many demons who received boons from Brahma and Shiva. But they never supported. Brahma and Shiva never supported the demons. Because they were obliged to offer some boons, they offered boons. Otherwise, it's not that they are favoring them. They are not on their side. They are always on Lord Vishnu's side only. Once there was a great demon named Vritrasura. You know Vritrasura? He also had a great desire. Not to fight, some desire, suspense for you at this moment. So he wanted to worship some god who can offer whatever boons that he wanted. Who is that god? Whom should I worship? He asked Narada Muni. Who is that god who is easily pleased with our offerings, with our worship? Please tell me, I want to worship him. I have some desire. Narada Muni said, Lord Shiva is very easily pleased and quickly pleased. Worship him. Then Lord Vritrasura started worshipping Shiva. He kept a sacrificial fire He lit the fire and he started praying to Lord Shiva, meditating on Lord Shiva, offering oblations to Lord Shiva. You know what are the oblations? He would cut pieces of flesh from his own body and put in the sacrificial fire, like this. He has been doing that every day, putting some flesh from his own body. Lord Shiva is not coming. He's trying so hard, but Shiva is not coming. Then one day he got so frustrated, he took a knife and he was about to cut his head and put in the sacrificial fire. He did not offer patram pushpam phalam toyam. He is offering blood, flesh, etc. That is tamoguni worship. That too with a selfish desire. But seeing that this Vritrasura is trying to cut his own head, Lord Shiva became little merciful and he appeared from the sacrificial fire and said, "Stop this nonsense. What do you want?" Then Vritrasura said, "Thank you for appearing in front of me. I have one little desire." "What is that?" "If I put my hand on somebody's head, they should die immediately. Can you please give me this boon?" Shiva said, "You are asking for this?" He said, "Okay, fine. Tathastu." Then Vritrasura said, "I want to test this boon by putting my hand on your head first." Shiva started running away. Then Lord Vishnu came there and he took the form of a little boy and said, "You know, Shiva's boons don't work. Shiva's boons don't work. 100% sure that you put your hand on anybody's head." "Why anybody? Put hand on your head only. It will not work, I assure you." And this demon is so bewildered by Vishnu's enchanting words, and by mistake he kept his hand on his own head and he died within a moment. So Vritrasura was apparently a devotee of Lord Shiva, but Shiva never blessed Vritrasura. He was obliged to offer a boon. Similarly, Hiranyaksha did some worship of Lord Brahma, and Brahma was obliged to offer some boons. Not that Brahma is actually favoring Hiranyaksha. He is praying to Lord Vishnu, Lord Varahadev, "Please kill him immediately. He is my devotee, but you kill him." Right? So when Shiva also blessed Ravana, but Ram decided to kill Ravana, Shiva did not come and protect Ravana. So never misunderstand Brahma and Shiva just because they are offering some boons to demons. They are devotees ultimately. So anyways, that episode is complete. Then Maitreya Muni comes back to the narration of first Manvantara. What were we discussing? First Manvantara called Swayambhu Manvantara, and his descendants and his children and how he increased the population of the universe. So Swayambhu Manu settled down on earthly planet, and Swayambhu Manu started having 5 children. Swayambhu Manu, his wife is Shatarupa. They both had 5 children, 3 daughters and 2 sons. The 2 sons were Uttanapad and Priyavrata. The 3 daughters were Devahuti, Akuti and Prasuti. The 3rd canto of Bhagavatam describes the descendants of Mother Devahuti first. Who is her husband? Kardama Muni. Now we need to understand the background of Kardama Muni. We came to 21st chapter. So Kardama Muni was the son of Brahma. And Lord Brahma ordered Kardama Muni, "You get married nicely and you generate population and fill this universe with so many living entities." Then Kardama Muni, before getting married, he went to a place called Bindu Sarovar and he started worshipping Lord Vishnu for 10,000 years. For 10,000 years he was worshipping Lord Vishnu. Very nice devotee. After 10,000 years of tapasya, Lord Vishnu appeared in front of Kardama Muni and asked him, "What do you want?" Kardama Muni offered heartfelt prayers, very, very beautiful prayers. He praised the Lord in 100 different ways and he said, "O Lord, you bestow your boons and devotees experience great bliss by worshipping you, by hearing your pastimes. Parasparam tad gunavada sidhu piyusha niryapita deha dharmaha So, greatest pleasure is derived by devotees by discussing your glories, your nama, your rupa, your guna, your lila. That's what gives them pleasure. But there are some motivated devotees, sakama bhaktas, they worship you with some desires. They have some material expectations from you. By the way, I am also like them. Kardama Muni, he said, even I also worshipped you for a material desire. You have a material desire? For that, you worshipped me for 10,000 years? Oh, what is your desire? Kardama Muni said, I want a good wife. To get a good wife, he worshipped 10,000 years. He is meditating on the Lord for 10,000 years. Is that wrong? Nothing wrong. Because Brahma, his own father, his guru kind of personality, this Brahma instructed Kardama Muni, you get married, you get a good wife and get good children through her and increase the population of this universe. Therefore, just to do the service assigned to me by my father Brahma, I prayed to you for 10,000 years to get a good wife. Nothing wrong. Who instructed Brahma to increase population in this universe? You only instructed. Lord Vishnu instructed, right? Vishnu told Brahma to create population and Brahma told Kardama Muni to create population, and to create population he needed a wife. So Kardama Muni worshipped Vishnu, give me a wife. Saying, give me a wife. Vishnu said, don't worry, I'll give you. So, day after tomorrow, Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa will come with their daughter named Devahuti and they will conduct your marriage here only, right at Bindu Sarovar. You marry her. So, the purpose for which you worshipped me is satisfied. I offered the boon that you wanted. You will get the best wife. However, although you have not asked me, I will give you some extra boon. You know what is that extra boon? I will personally become your son. So he said, I will appear in the form of Kapila Dev, your son, and I will take care of your wife after your retirement. So here is the Lord who is arranging for the marriage of his parents. Lord Vishnu is the supreme father. Mother Lakshmi is the supreme mother. They are the supreme parents. And everyone is like their children. But here the Lord wanted to become the child of a devotee and is arranging for the marriage of his devotee. He is bringing his father Kardama and his mother Devahuti together, and after they come together he will become their son. Very beautiful. Interesting. So anyways, Lord Vishnu saying this, he left. Later, one second. As predicted by the Lord, Swayambhu Manu came along with his daughter Devahuti and said, Kardama Muni, I came here for a purpose. Initially, Kardama Muni received Swayambhu Manu with so much love, so much affection, and he praised Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu, you are a Kshatriya, you are a great ruler. Exemplary leaders and Kshatriyas like you are required to streamline the society and rule and guide the society nicely. And he praised him so much. Then Brahmana or Swayambhu Manu started praising Brahmana, Kardama Muni. He said, unless you Brahmanas guide people like me, I won't be able to rule properly. I can't ensure that Varnashram Dharma is being observed in my kingdom. So, you Brahmanas are very important section of the society. Now, if you see, Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are natural leaders in the society. Brahmanas are the intellectual class and Kshatriyas are the administrative class. They are natural leaders of the society. When they have mutual appreciation, they have love and affection and respect for each other, they mutually appreciate each other, then the other sections of the society will have proper example to follow, proper inspiration to follow. If the leaders themselves are fighting with each other, quarreling with each other, what inspiration common people will have? They can't have any inspiration. Therefore, the leaders of the society must be respectful to each other. Important lesson. So Kardama Muni and Swayambhu Manu praised each other. And later Kardama Muni asked, Swayambhu Manu, why did you come here? Is there any service that I can do for you? Then Swayambhu Manu said, my dear Kardama Muni, I came here to offer my daughter Devahuti in marriage with you. You please accept her as your wife. I know you have a plan to get married. There are two kinds of brahmacharis. One, Naishtika brahmachari. Second, Upakurvana brahmachari. Naishtika brahmachari means he will live as a brahmachari without any marriage for the whole life. Upakurvana brahmachari means they live as a brahmachari up to some point in life and then they will get married. Both are bona fide. So Kardama Muni is not a Naishtika brahmachari. He was brahmachari till then. Now he had a plan to get married. I know your plan. So I got a wife for you. So you please accept her. Don't say no. It's very respectful when somebody, when the father of the girl personally comes and offers the daughter in marriage to the boy, it's considered very respectful, right? So when I am coming to you at your doorstep, you should just accept it. That would be nice on your part. Like somebody says, they're distributing sweets, right? And out of your modesty or shy or humility or just to show off that you are a great renunciant, if you say, I will not accept this sweet. You did not accept. And after some time you felt like eating it. And you go to the kitchen and say, is there any sweet left? Can you give me some? And they say, no, we don't have any sweet. We have some sugar. Please take this sugar. And then it's little humbling or humiliating when you go and pursue it. When it comes of its own accord, just accept it. So Kardama Muni said, don't worry, you don't have to convince me so much. I am ready to accept your daughter as my wife. Actually, Lord Vishnu predicted it. Your arrival is already foretold to me by Lord Vishnu. I am waiting for you. So now please conduct our marriage. So here Devahuti is very beautiful. And Kardama Muni started praising her beauty. Who would not hesitate to accept her as wife? She is so beautiful, she is so chaste. As far as qualities are concerned, she is extremely chaste. But physically also she is so beautiful. One day, there is one, Devahuti was playing on the terrace of their building, of their palace. As she was playing, there is a Gandharva who is flying in the airplane, Gandharva airplane. From his airplane, he saw Devahuti. And he was so mesmerized by her beauty. And he fell down from the airplane. Right? So, when somebody looks at another woman with lust, fall down is guaranteed. Right? So some lusty thoughts appeared in the mind of this Gandharva. So he fell from his airplane. So apparently attraction towards her beauty, but apart from appreciating the beauty of the woman, he wanted to enjoy with her. Appreciating beauty is at one level, but trying to own it and enjoy it is selfishness. So that is not appropriate on his part, that one should not glance upon another woman with that kind of thoughts. So he fell down. But anyways, here the point is, Kardama Muni is appreciating Devahuti's beauty. So material beauty agitates the mind with a desire to enjoy. But spiritual beauty pacifies the mind. When somebody goes in front of the deities and sees the beautiful form of Krishna, Rukmani, Dwarkadhish, or any other beautiful deity form, they feel like folding their hands and offering prayers. Because it is spiritual beauty that pacifies the mind, that enlivens the mind, that induces spiritual thoughts and spiritual desires in the mind, that reduces your material anxieties. That's the impact of spiritual beauty even on a materialistic person. But material beauty, which is just made of some flesh, blood, bones, urine, stool, mucus, it's just a bag of all these abominable substances, nicely packaged. When somebody gets attracted to it, it's like sheer foolishness, right? So, anyways, Kardama Muni accepted Swayambhu Manu's proposal, and Swayambhu Manu conducted the marriage of Kardama Muni there itself, and he left his daughter Devahuti in Kardama Muni's care, and they went back. So generally daughters are very dear to their fathers. Kardama Muni, after his marriage, Swayambhu Manu was unable to leave Devahuti, but still, so they embraced each other and they cried, they shed tears, and then they departed. So responsibility is there. So Swayambhu Manu went back to his kingdom, and he continued ruling his kingdom, and he was nicely hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. He was writing books about the Lord. He's enlightening people, and he's like proper bona fide devotee who ruled the kingdom in a very exemplary manner. So coming back to Devahuti Mata, so Devahuti was sincerely serving her spiritually elevated husband Kardama Muni. How sincerely she was serving? She was compared with Mother Parvati. What is this comparison? Parvati Devi also was the daughter of a great king, Parvata, the king of Himalayas. So she is a princess. But Lord Shiva is very, very simple hearted, and he would sit under a tree or in the crematorium. He does not construct a palace for himself. He is like a mendicant, Lord Shiva. So Parvati Devi left her palace, palatial building and all the opulences of her father, and served Lord Shiva in a very simple way. Similarly, Devahuti also left her opulent palace and started staying in the humble, simple hermitage in the forest along with Kardama Muni and served him. That's why she is compared with Mother Parvati. So in this way, Devahuti was serving Kardama Muni very, very sincerely, and by doing that service and doing so much of physical austerity, she became very thin and emaciated. She was not looking like a princess anymore. She was looking very, very thin and weak. One day Kardama Muni looked at her. Kardama Muni is so absorbed in his austerities, his worship, his dhyana, his samadhi. So he will enter meditation, he will come out after some time. It's like that. But one day he noticed, oh, for so many days you are serving me. Looks like you are not eating properly. You became very weak. My dear Devahuti, I am very pleased with your service. I wish to offer whatever I have acquired by my austerities, by my worship, to you at this moment. I will give love of Godhead, because he, as a nice devotee, worshipping the Supreme Lord for a long time, he became a great lover of the Lord, and he has love of God. He wanted to offer that love of God to Mother Devahuti. This is the importance of serving a Guru. Guru is a very elevated devotee. Just by rendering service to Guru, the disciple will get all the spiritual credits that Guru has acquired freely. Right? Similarly, by serving a spiritually elevated husband, wife also will acquire all the blessings. Kardama Muni did worship of 10,000 years. He got the darshan of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And Devahuti Mata did not do 10,000 years of tapasya. She did not get Vishnu's darshan. All she did is, she did some service to Kardama Muni, and whatever blessings and boons and spiritual credits that Kardama Muni acquired by his sincere tapasya, he is going to transfer all of that to his wife Devahuti. That's the power of serving a spiritually elevated husband. But somehow, some husbands are not so spiritually elevated. The wives are more spiritually elevated than their husbands sometimes. Right? Example you want? Go to the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Brahmana Patnis. All these Brahmanas are so accustomed to worship their sacrificial fires. They are so indifferent. They are not devoted at all, but their wives are very, very exalted devotees. So it's not that husband is always spiritually powerful and wife should receive all the spiritual blessings from husband only. But when the husband happens to be a nice devotee of the Lord, just by rendering service to the husband, the wife can derive all spiritual blessings that husband has acquired. So this is the special blessing in Krishna conscious Grihastha life. Right? Now coming to Devahuti Mata's response to Kardama Muni's offer, out of her innocence, she was just trying to draw some lines with her toe on the ground, with her head bent low. Whenever women feel shy, they bend their head low and they start writing something. What exactly they write, we don't know, but they write something with their with thumb of their feet. They just write something that indicates shy. That gesture, that posture indicates some shy. She felt very shy, and then she expressed her desire. Love of God, I'll take later. Later? Yeah. What do you want now then? I want some children. She very innocently said, I want children, I'll take Krishna Prema later, just give me some kids first. Then Kardama Muni understood her desire. Now it must seem that she's not very intelligent. He's giving Krishna Prema and then she says, I want children. She can be liberated immediately. She can go back to Godhead. But she, no, I want kids first. Why did she ask like that? From one side it is her innocence. From another angle, it is the desire of the Lord. If Devahuti says, yes, give me love of Godhead, I will go back to Godhead, then Kapila will not take birth only. So Devahuti Mata is supposed to become the mother of Kapila Dev. Therefore, she innocently asked this desire. Her desire is also part of the Lord's plan, ultimately. So Kardama Muni said, okay, fine, I understand your desire. As a simple woman, married woman, you would like to give birth to children. You see, Diti also had a similar desire. But her desire was accompanied with lust and envy. But Devahuti Mata, she also desired children. But she was not lusty, she was not envious of anyone. She was not proud. She is very innocent, very simple-hearted. She rendered service to her husband and requested this. I want some children. So Kardama Muni first created a great aerial mansion, a big palace, not just palace, it's like a big city only, that can fly anywhere. So Kardama Muni created that kind of a flying mansion, and he told Devahuti, you look very thin and weak and small, better you enter this Bindu Sarovar. She did not speak a single word. She silently entered that Bindu Sarovar. She entered the lake. But inside the lake, by the mystic power of Kardama Muni, Jai Rukmini Dharkadesh ki Jai. By the mystic power of Kardama Muni, inside the lake there were very beautiful 1,000 young girls. All these young girls bathed Mother Devahuti, dressed her nicely, decorated her nicely, and fed her nicely, and she regained her original beauty as a great princess, not like an ascetic lady. She was not thin or emaciated anymore. She is looking very, very regal and very royal like a princess and looks very beautiful. Then she was brought by these girls to Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni and Devahuti boarded this airplane, aerial mansion, along with the girls. Kardama Muni was shining like a moon amidst so many stars. So in this way, they were just flying. And Kardama Muni took her to different beautiful spots all over the universe. Because he is a great yogic person, he has so many mystic powers. He is utilizing all these mystic powers to create this aerial mansion and satisfy his dear wife. How many days they enjoyed? 100 years. We may say, he is a devotee, she is a devotee. Can they have this kind of enjoyment for 100 years like this everywhere? How is it justified? One may think like that. But he did 10,000 years of tapasya. Did he have the same question? If he can do devotional service for 10,000 years, can't he enjoy for 100 years? That too, that enjoyment is meant to get some children. Generally in this world, sometimes man and woman may come together only for or mainly for sense enjoyment. And as a result, they may get some children. And some people wanted to avoid that also. We don't want children, we only want enjoyment. Some people are like that in this material world. But here, that sense gratification, or the man and woman coming together to unite, is only for the purpose of generating Krishna conscious children and raising them in a Krishna conscious way. And that's the whole purpose of marriage. And even before marriage, Kardama Muni told Swayambhu Manu, as soon as Devahuti becomes mother of some children, I am going to retire. I will accept sannyas. Or I will vanaprastha and sannyas. So, and Devahuti said okay for it. Swayambhu Manu said okay for it. And Shatarupa, mother of Devahuti, she also said okay for it. So the purpose of a Krishna conscious marriage is to procreate children and raise them in a Krishna conscious way. And when the children are grown up, then the parents will take to complete spiritual life. Right? When the children can handle things on their own. So in this way, Kardama Muni impregnated her and she became the mother of 9 beautiful daughters. Then Kardama Muni said, okay, now you become mother of 9 children, I am going. He didn't want to go, but he said, I am going. And he cannot go, he will not go, but still he said, I am going. Then Devahuti said, my dear Kardama Muni, I am sorry. You wanted to offer me abhayam, fearlessness and ultimately love of God, but I asked you for children. And I utilized your wonderful association only for sense gratification, sense enjoyment. It was my mistake. And the entire chapter is titled as Devahuti's lamentation. She was lamenting. She was feeling so sad and bad. I utilized the association of a very, very spiritually elevated personality who did 10,000 years of tapasya, who could please Lord Vishnu, who could attain the darshan of Lord Vishnu for my sense enjoyment. He gave me so much enjoyment, taking me to different places for 100 years, and now he gave me 9 daughters and he's leaving. She felt very guilty. But she made one beautiful statement, very important lesson for all of us. She said, my dear husband, whether someone associates with a devotee with a spiritual purpose or material purpose, that sangha, that association must only uplift them, should not degrade them. Generally, yathamam prapajyante is the principle. If you approach someone with a material desire, your material desire will be fulfilled. If you go with spiritual desire will be fulfilled. But whether you approach a sadhu with a material desire or spiritual desire, you should be advancing spiritually only. Only spiritual advancement must be the outcome of associating with a spiritually elevated devotee, whatever may be the purpose of the person who comes to him. So devotee should be such that even if a materialistic person comes to a devotee, the materialistic person should get some little attraction towards Krishna. At least some prasad of Krishna. So that is the nature of a devotee. Somehow uplift the consciousness of whoever comes in contact with them. Although I associated with you for sense gratification, but your association should give me some spiritual benefit. You only gave me 9 daughters, but I want some spiritual benefit. Very beautiful shlokas are there in this context. Nehayat karma dharmaya naviragaya kalpate, many things. But we will not get into details. Then Kardama Muni said, don't worry, Devahuti, I will not go anywhere. I will stay back. You are lamenting unnecessarily. You are saying that you associated with me for sense gratification. You are saying it out of your humility. You never associated with me for sense gratification. You rendered so much service to me with so much of humility and self-control and sense control and mind control, keeping aside all your opulent background. You dedicated yourself, your body completely for my service. I know all this. Sometimes great devotees out of their humility consider themselves very fallen, very lowly, very bad, etc., etc. But you should not take it literally. Just because Devahuti is considering herself at fault by associating with Kardama Muni for sense gratification, you should not take it literally. She never did that. Even her desire to have children through Kardama Muni is inspired by the Lord only. So Kardama Muni said, don't worry, my dear Devahuti, you are the most fortunate woman. Why? Because you are going to be the mother of the Supreme Lord. I didn't tell you. When Lord Vishnu appeared in front of me, I only asked for a good wife and he gave you to me as my wife. But without my asking, he gave me another boon. That is, he said he will personally come as my son. Means Lord Vishnu is going to take birth in your blessed womb. You are most glorious lady. And it's my fortune to have you as my wife because Lord Vishnu has arranged you for me. So Kardama Muni is valuing Devahuti so much and Devahuti is valuing Kardama Muni so much. This is supposed to be the ideal love and affection between a husband and wife. They never took each other for granted. Although Devahuti left everything behind and started serving Kardama Muni never took her for granted. Although Kardama Muni is willing to offer all the blessings, spiritual blessings he received to Devahuti, Devahuti never took Kardama Muni for granted. Although apparently she is claiming like that, she never took him for granted. She valued him as much as God. And he valued her like a God's gift, like the great glorious mother of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is going to appear in your home, don't worry. You please calm down and worship the Supreme Lord. Now you may say, already it is predestined that Lord Vishnu will take birth from the womb of Mother Devahuti. Why should he again worship him? Is it necessary? Already the Lord has made a promise, I will become your son. Again she has to worship or what? Already worship is done, right? No. The worship of the Supreme Lord must be done perpetually. Before receiving boons, after receiving boons, and for the rest of eternity. One should always worship the Supreme Lord. It's not done only for a particular purpose. It is done out of love. So she started worshipping Lord Vishnu. And eventually she became pregnant and she gave birth to a very, very beautiful son named Kapila, and Lord Brahma appeared there and told, I am very, very pleased with you, my dear Kardama Muni and Devahuti. You are ideal householders. You are ideal husband and wife. And you lived a very wonderful Krishna conscious Grahastha life. You became the father of 10 children, 9 daughters and 1 son. And Brahma instructed Kardama Muni, you get your 9 daughters married to these 9 great sages. So the marriage happened and all of them went to their own homes and they continued to live their own household life. And later Kardama Muni decided, now that I have a son, Kapila, he is the Supreme Lord directly, he will take care of Devahuti. I can retire now. So Kardama Muni said, my dear Kapila Dev, you please take care of my dear wife Devahuti. She is a glorious lady. I am planning to retire. I will take sannyas. I will go to the forest. I will meditate on the Lord. Now you may have a question. Kardama Muni is planning to go out and take sannyas to meditate on the Lord, to worship the Lord, but the Lord is living right in his home. What is the need for him to take sannyas when the Lord is right directly in his home? The answer is simple. All these great souls, they uphold Vedic culture. According to Vedic culture, one should not hold on to household comforts till the fag end of one's life. At some point when the children are grown up and all, these people must retire and take to Vanaprastha or sannyas. Just to set an example, Kardama Muni retired. But there is another deeper reason. You know what is that? The deeper reason is, Kardama Muni has always been serving Lord Vishnu as a servant, in the mood of a servant, not in the mood of a father. Right? If he stays at home, Kapila will call Kardama Muni, my dear father, my dear father. Father? No, you are my father. You are my worshipable Lord. So there is a little difference in the mood. He is accustomed to certain mood. He could connect with the Lord in a certain mood. Suddenly he has to change the mood. So although he became the father as a part of the pastime, but he is always considering himself servant only, not a father. But if he stays home, Kapila will say, Mother Devahuti, Father Kardama Muni. No. Mother Devahuti is fine. I am only servant Kardama. So he just left. So he was in Dasya Rasa. Kardama Muni is in Dasya Rasa. But Mother Devahuti is in Vatsalya Rasa. She did not do 10,000 years of tapasya. She did not have the darshan of the Lord. But she is so blessed that she became the mother of the Lord and developed Vatsalya Bhava for the Lord, while her husband remained in Dasya Bhava. Everybody has their own spiritual journey, by the way. And in our spiritual journey, we come in contact with multiple devotees, we receive blessings from different devotees, we receive inspiration from different devotees, and we develop our own particular individual mood towards the Lord. Just because you happen to be the counselor of somebody, that does not mean you are in a higher rasa than him. Maybe they can have a higher rasa for the Lord than you, they can have higher level of devotion, but we are there. As long as we are together, we assist each other in our relationship with the Lord, in building our relationship with the Lord, in practicing our sadhana. But ultimately, everybody connects with the Lord in a very, very personal way, and the Lord also personally reciprocates with their individual mood. He respects and values, right? So Kardama Muni has Dasya Bhava. He went into Vanaprastha, then Sannyasa, and then he meditated on the Lord. He worshipped the Lord, and he went back to Godhead in a certain style. But Devahuti Mata stayed back. After Kardama Muni's departure, one day Devahuti Mata came to Kapila Deva. She said, my dear son, or my dear Lord, she definitely had Vatsalya Prema, but not like Yashoda Mata, like Devaki Mata. What's the difference between Yashoda Mata and Devaki Mata? Yashoda Mata never considers Krishna as God. Even if Krishna exhibits godhood, even if Krishna shows entire universe within his mouth to Mother Yashoda, even if Krishna lifts this mountain, Govardhan mountain on his little finger, Yashoda Mata will never consider Krishna as God. She will only say, Krishna, you are so naughty. Why do you do all these kind of mischievous activities? Why did you stop Indra's worship? And Indra created this devastating rainfall in Vrindavan, and you have to hold so much weight on your little finger. You have to stand like that. How long you will hold like that? So much weight. As if he is holding some 10 kilos or 20 kilos. She is not even understanding what she is saying, in the sense that Krishna is holding a huge mountain on his hands, on his little finger. Who can do that? Only God can do that. But Yashoda Mata is only saying that you are doing some weightlifting. She is never saying that you are God. Well, many people see Govardhan episode and then understand that although Krishna is a 7-year-old boy, he is God. But Yashoda Mata says he's 7-year-old boy only, but he's doing some overwork beyond his age. That's all. She never considered Krishna as God. Understand? That is her mood. So Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mata never considered Krishna as God, but Devaki considered Krishna as God. Vasudeva considered Krishna as God. And Kardama Muni and Devahuti understood Kapila Deva as God. You are my son, but you are God also. So she came and sat in his class. He sat on asan, she sat down and said, my dear son, my dear Lord, I have some doubts. Can you please clear? Yeah, I have come here to give you class only. Kapil Dev said, through Mother Devahuti, I want to give the teachings of Sankhya to this whole world. So he is ready to answer all her questions. She said, I am so caught up in this aham mameti conception. Now from here our discussion will become a little technical. I narrated a lot of story till now, but we will get into some technical discussions. But I will try to keep it simple. So she said that my mind is absorbed in aham mameti conception, I and mine. I am identifying myself with this body and whatever is belonging to the body, I am thinking that it is my possession. Please help me come out of this conception. Then Kapila Dev said, my dear mother, I will teach you something called Adhyatmika Yoga that has 3 parts. By following this Adhyatmika Yoga, you can come out of this Aham Mameti conception, this conception of being I and mine. What is that Adhyatmika Yoga? Basically it has 3 parts. One is Jnana or Sankhya. Jnana means knowledge. Sankhya means analysis. By analysis you develop knowledge, therefore Jnana and Sankhya are used interchangeably. So first part is Jnana. Second part is Yoga, also called Ashtanga Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. So first is Jnana or Sankhya, second is Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. What is the third one? Bhakti. So I am going to teach you something called Adhyatmika Yoga that has 3 parts. Jnana, Yoga and Bhakti. Clear? Out of these 3, Bhakti is the best. Then Mother Devahuti asked her second question. She will ask 7 questions and he will give 7 elaborate answers. First question is over. Now we will get into the second question. I am speaking from the 25th chapter of 3rd Canto. She will ask her second question. Oh, Bhakti is the best of all 3. What kind of Bhakti should I perform to easily attain you? She asks. Oh, you should perform Bhava Bhakti. Or you should perform Bhakti with intense emotions towards me. But if you cannot do that, at least do Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Means you follow the different principles of Bhakti, different processes like Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam. You follow all this as practices and worship me. And that Bhakti is performed nicely in the association of devotees. Kapil Dev said, Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha tajjoshanada swapavarga vartmani shraddharatir bhaktiranukramishyati. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. When devotees associate with other devotees and hear Krishna Katha in that association, bhavanti hritkarna rasayana jana. So that will act as a wonderful nectar to the ears. Hearing Krishna Katha in the association of devotees is like drinking nectar through ears. And by doing so, Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishati, you will eventually develop Shraddha, faith in this process, and eventually you will go to the later stages like Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivrti, and ultimately Bhava and Prema for the Lord. So you should associate with devotees and hear Krishna Katha. And such great devotees have great qualities. First quality is Mai Ananya Bhavena. Their primary characteristics are they have complete dedication to the Lord. And the secondary characteristics are Sadhu Lakshana. like Titikshavaha, Karunikaha, Suhurdaha, Sarvadehinam. They are very tolerant, they are very merciful, they are very kind and compassionate. These are secondary qualities of devotee, but primary quality is complete surrender to the Lord. So he spoke some of these qualities. Then Devahuti asked her third question, what about Jnana? Then she asked the fourth question, what about yoga? Now bhakti is best, Lord Kapila already said, and she also understands that bhakti is best. But why did she ask about Jnana? Why did she ask about yoga, Ashtanga yoga? There is a reason. You go to the shop, some smartphone selling shop, you want to take one particular model. He will tell the specifications. This has 50 megapixel camera or 100 megapixel camera, this much RAM, this much ROM, this and that. They will give specifications that suits your needs, that suits your budget. So you preferred it. But you will not directly take it. You feel like comparing this model with few other models. You keep comparing specifications. On Amazon, you just type, okay, compare these 4 models, which is best. Eliminate these 2, then put. And they also give ranks, right? Rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 of these 4. I don't know so much about it, but on Amazon or some other websites, there are comparisons of specifications of different gadgets and other things. So, when you make some comparisons with other models, your conviction on choosing this model will increase. Right? That is only to compare and contrast. Similarly, if you are recommended, you perform bhakti only, no other path, then you will ask, any other path available? How is bhakti superior to other paths? Just show me some varieties. You go to cloth showroom and he will say, this is the best product. Oh dikhao, oh dikhao, oh dikhao, oh dikhao. After seeing 10, you will pick up one. And you will come back to the same conclusion probably, whatever he recommended. Right? This is according to your budget, according to your preference, this is the best available. An expert salesman will directly show, but you feel like comparing and contrasting. That contrast will help you appreciate this one product better. Then you will be more convinced. Then you will come and tell your friend, I have seen 10 models, this is the best one. I recommend this also for you. Similarly, in Bhagavatam, although bhakti is the primary message, there is some description of jnana and yoga and sankhya, so that in comparison to all these other paths, bhakti is superior. We will understand that bhakti is superior. And with greater conviction, we will go and embrace that path. Similarly, Devahuti Mata, she just wanted to compare bhakti path with jnana and yoga and increase her appreciation for bhakti, but she never wanted to follow jnana or yoga. It's only for information. That's why everything written in Bhagavatam is not meant for all of us. Some things are only there for comparison, contrasting, they are not recommendations. Now, then Kapila started describing jnana. Very elaborate and complicated description how the universe came into existence and characteristics of various elements. He described all that and about the liberation of a jnani and all that. Then he came to yoga path. And he said, in yoga there are 8 practices, Ashtanga yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. So these 5 are preparatory limbs. Yama, Niyama means rules and regulations, do's and don'ts. Pranayama is breathing exercise. Asana is physical, bodily postures. Then Pratyahara means withdrawing your mind and senses from all distracting and alluring sense objects. So these are 5 preparatory limbs. So you are done with it, then you begin the process of meditation, dharana. Dharana means preliminary process of meditation where you meditate on the overall form of the Lord. Dhyana means a deeper meditation where you meditate on every single limb of the Lord. You go and see the form of Krishna overall, from top to bottom, that is dharana. But you just focus on the feet, only feet, and you meditate. Slowly raise to the waist, slowly meditate on the navel, slowly come to the chest, slowly comes to the hands, then neck, then face, then smile. So by meditating on each of these limbs, you have multiple effects. So that is called, the deeper meditation on each and every limb of the Lord is called dhyana. And when you enter complete trance by such meditation, it is called samadhi. These are the 8 stages. Out of these, some of these elements of Ashtanga yoga are common for devotees also. Devotees are not yogis, Ashtanga yogis. They don't do meditation. But some basic rules and regulations, do's and don'ts that Ashtanga yogis follow, they are relevant for devotees also. Right? Now you sit in a proper asana. We are not yogis, but still if you sit in a proper asana with back erect or in a proper sitting posture, that will help you in chanting. You are not doing Ashtanga yoga, you are doing japa, bhakti yoga only. But still sitting properly is good, right? So whatever is relevant for devotees, we'll just discuss a couple of shlokas. So Kapil Dev says, you meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord, dhyana. Sanchintayed bhagavatas charanarvindam vajrankusadhvaja saroruhalanchadadhyam uttunga rakta vilasan nakhachakravala jyotsnabhirahatamahadhridayandhakaram sanchintayed bhagavatah charanarvindam. You meditate on the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu for a long time. And what is the effect of meditation? The thick gloom of darkness in the heart is destroyed by the effulgence of the toenails of the Lord. You meditate on the Lord's feet, and the toenails of the Lord will emanate such moon-like effulgence, and that effulgence will destroy the darkness in your heart, darkness of ignorance in your heart. And yat shaucha nishrita sarit pravarodakena tirthena murnyadhikritena shivaha shivo bhut dhyatuhu manah shamala shaila nisrishta vajram dhyayechiram bhagavatas charanarvindam. The meaning of this shloka is, conditioned souls in this world, they commit so many sins and they have a mountain of sin in their heart. And it is said that Indra's Vajrayudha or thunderbolt is known to smash mountains. Similarly, our meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord will act like a Vajrayudha, a thunderbolt that can smash the mountain of sin in our hearts. Clear? So you slowly come to, let's come directly to the face of the Lord. Slowly come to the lotus face of the Lord. What is the effect of meditating on the lotus face and lotus smile and beautiful eyebrows of the Lord? He says, Hasam hareravanata khilaloka tivra shokashru sagara visoshanamatyudaram sammohanaya rachitam nijamayayasya bhrumandalam munikrite makaradhvajasya. Hasam harer, the beautiful enchanting smile of Lord Krishna will completely destroy our distresses. The conditioned soul in this material world experiences unlimited miseries, and because of that they shed tears, and the tears form a big ocean. The tears of lamentation of a conditioned soul form a big ocean of tears, and by seeing the beautiful smile of the Lord, this ocean of tears will be dried up. How many of you want to dry up your tears? Look at the smile of the Lord. The Lord is smiling and opening the Darshan. Jagannath's smile and Dwarkadhish's smile. So seeing the smile of the Lord, Hare Krishna, seeing the smile of the Lord, our ocean of tears will be dried up within a minute. Right? One more thing. Bhrumandalam manikrite makaradhvajasya. So generally, the attraction between male and female in this world is induced by or instigated by Madana, Kamadev. He has flower arrows, right? So generally, great warriors have wind weapon, water weapon, this weapon, that weapon. But Kamadev has arrows of flowers. So he will throw that arrows, and when someone is pierced by that arrows, they will have some attraction towards the opposite gender. They will have lusty desires. To protect oneself from these lusty desires and attraction, undue sensual attraction towards the opposite gender, and protect oneself from the arrows of Cupid, we need to expose ourselves to other type of arrows. Lord Krishna's glances. So Lord Krishna's eyebrows are like bows, bow-shaped eyebrows. And Krishna's glances are like arrows coming from these bows. When the arrows of Krishna's affectionate, loving glances pierce our hearts, that will protect us from being pierced by the arrows of Cupid. Right? So, by taking darshan of the Lord's beautiful form, we will be protected from lust. Kandarpadarpahara sundara divya murte kanta kuchamburuha kutmalalola drishte kalyana nirmala gunakara divya kirte. Kandarpa darpahara. Kandarpa is Cupid. Darpa means his pride. So Lord Vishnu by his beauty can completely smash the pride of Cupid also. That's how he protects us. In this way, Ashtanga Yoga is very nicely described. In Ashtanga Yoga, the sweetest part is description of the Lord's form. So this is completed. Now, the next question of Mother Devahuti. How many questions she asked? 7. Out of 7, we saw 4. First is Adhyatmika Yoga topic. Second is Bhakti. What kind of Bhakti should we perform to attain you easily? Next is about Jnana. Next is about Yoga. Now, 5th question is, I want to know Bhakti in greater detail. Please tell me more details of Bhakti. I understood. Jnana is not for me. Ashtanga is not for me. I want Bhakti. Please describe Bhakti in great detail. Then, Lord Kapila Dev said, Bhakti is 3 types. Actually, Bhakti is not 3 types. People who perform Bhakti can be of 3 types. What is that 3 types of Bhakti? According to the performers, Tamasic Bhakti, Rajasic Bhakti and Sattvic Bhakti. When you perform Bhakti with some revengeful attitude, with some envy, with some desire to destroy somebody, that is called Tamasic Bhakti. Bhakti in mode of ignorance. Tamoguni Bhakti. Second point. When you perform Bhakti with great ambitions, ambition that I want to attain this, I want name, fame, power, prestige, influence, that is called Rajasic Bhakti. Bhakti in mode of passion. But when you perform Bhakti for happiness and liberation, that is called Sattvic Bhakti. Right? These 3 are Guni Bhakti. They are influenced by 3 material modes. But above these 3 types of Bhakti is the 4th type of Bhakti called Nirguna Bhakti. Nirguna Bhakti means Bhakti without any tinge of material modes, no expectations. Madguna Sruti Matrena Mai Sarva Guhashaye Manogatira Vichinna Yatha Gangambha Sombhudau. Madguna Sruti Matrena, just by hearing about the qualities of Krishna, your mind will run towards Krishna. Just like Ganga flows towards ocean. Although there are so many obstacles of mountains and forests and trees and hills and many other things on the way, villages and towns and cities, Mother Ganga will somehow manage to find her path to the ocean. Similarly, a devotee also, despite being obstructed by so many obstacles in this world, he will somehow reach Lord Krishna. That is called Nirguna Bhakti. No expectations. No selfish desires, no revengeful attitude, no desire for liberation also. That is Nirguna Bhakti. But for that Nirguna, such a devotee will not even accept liberation. Salokya sarishti samipya sarupyaikatvam abhyuta diyamanam na grihnanti vina matsevanam janaha. These muktis, 5 types of muktis are there, right? Salokya means attaining the same planet like the Lord. Sarupya means attaining the same form like the Lord. Samipya means staying right next to the Lord. Sarishti means having the same opulences like the Lord. Sayujya means merging into the effulgence of the Lord. All these 5 types of muktis, even if the Lord personally offers, a devotee does not take. He doesn't want that mukti. They want dedicated service to the Lord only, nothing else. So, bhakti is nicely performed by following certain principles. One is deity worship, second is hearing the Supreme Lord's pastimes and associating with devotees and following the rules and regulations prescribed. So like that, Kapila Dev gives a big list of protocols and policies that a devotee has to perform. But one thing one must avoid, that is Vaishnava Aparadh. Not only Vaishnava Aparadh, we should not unnecessarily disregard or demean or disrespect any living entity, not only devotee, any living entity, because Krishna is staying in the hearts of every single living entity. Therefore, we should not be disrespectful towards anybody. We should not hate anybody. The Lord will be displeased if we do so. So these are some greater details of bhakti. Then Mother Devahuti asked her 6th question. How does time influence people? I want to know a little bit about time. And Kapila Dev describes little bit about time. Then she asks her last question, 7th question. Samsriti. Can you please tell me a little bit about this cycle of birth and death underwent by conditioned souls? Then Mother Devahuti says, Kapila Dev says, people take birth because of their karmic activities. And if they don't follow bhakti or spiritual path, they will again experience so many difficulties in life, and by the time of their death, they will have a lot of accumulated material desires, and they will not be able to get liberation, and they will have very terrible near-death experience, death experience, post-death experience. They will be taken by Yamadutas, they will be dragged by the Yamadutas all the way to hell, and in the hell they will undergo a tremendous amount of distresses. Again, to fulfill their unfulfilled material desires, they will be put in the womb of another mother, and while in the womb they undergo so much of problem. And if they happen to be devotee soul, they offer prayers to the Lord while being in the mother's womb, and later they offer prayers to the Lord, but they will come out of mother's womb and they will again be back to normal depending on their association. They will do some material activities. Like that, Kapila Dev elaborately described the whole cycle of birth and death. Finally, Mother Devahuti said, my dear Lord, thank you so much for enlightening me. I offer my prayers to you. She offered very beautiful prayers, and I am very fortunate that you have taken birth in my womb. It's my great fortune. She thanked him, and Kapila Dev said, okay, my dear mother, I am going to Ganga Sagar. In Ganga Sagar, I will do some austerities, and he proceeded. And Mother Devahuti always thought about Lord Kapila Dev, and she meditated on the Lord. She followed the instructions given by the Lord Kapila Dev, and thus she became a river, and she went to the Supreme Lord's abode. She thus went back to Godhead. So in this way, Kapila Dev continued to stay in Ganga Sagar. Kardama Muni was liberated, Devahuti was liberated. So next point is, what happened to the other daughters of Swayambhu Manu, other sons of Swayambhu Manu? All that will be discussed in the 4th canto. But 3rd canto ends with the story of Mother Devahuti and Kapila's teachings. So with this, we'll conclude our super fast-paced narration of 33 chapters of 3rd canto Bhagavatam in about 3 hours or so. I was told to stop at 8:40 and take questions. It's 8:41 now. If you have any questions, you can ask. I'll conclude. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam. You have just, in the last sentence, you have told us that we should not be disrespectful because Krishna is residing inside. So I need further clarification, or like how the warrior will follow their Kshatriya dharma in case there is an attack in the country, matlab how will this statement will be kindly elaborate.
Actually, killing somebody in a war is not disrespecting the warrior. It is respecting the warrior. The greatest way for a Kshatriya to die is to fight in the battlefield and die in the hands of opponent without showing back. And when one warrior is killing another warrior, that's like respecting, giving him an opportunity to die in that way. So it's Kshatriya dharma, it's not disrespect. When somebody does a mistake, they have to be punished. In the name of respecting the person, if you don't punish a wrongdoer, that is not appropriate on the part of a king. So respect is not losing discrimination. We need to understand the hierarchy of people and offer them respect according to the hierarchy without compromising on your dharma. Respect is not just losing all discretion and taking right to be wrong and wrong to be right. Oh, I respect everything, whatever is happening. He is stealing. I respect this thief. He is not Krishna to respect. So you need to respectfully punish him. Okay. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we are very, very grateful to you that you have given us this nectar of Bhagavatam morning and evening, both. Prabhuji, my question is, in morning lecture also and now also you explained that when we meditate upon the deities of the Lord, lot of our anarthas and lot of our desires, material desires go away. And in the morning you told that when Lord glances upon us, then we get a lot of spiritual desires. We want to serve Guru, we want to serve devotees. But Prabhuji, as soon as we go out of this campus, as soon as we go for our daily work, then our anarthas or our vegas, they are so much, I would say, we get away with that desires, and then they again submerge into our material work, and then again we came in front of deities and came in association of devotees, then we repent. So it becomes like a kunjak snan or like elephant bath. So Prabhuji, how we can cultivate that desire of serving the devotees and serving Guru and serving the deities like constantly, so that our material anarthas should not counter it.
So principally, because we are conditioned souls, we may not be able to maintain that consistency of absorption in Krishna always. You said that when I go out of this campus, again I am back to my material thoughts. But sometimes even while in the campus also we have a lot of material thoughts, right? While taking darshan also mind goes here and there. While hearing katha also mind goes here and there. And now we are keeping distraction in our pockets close to our heart in the form of smartphone. While being in the temple also we can just get distracted. So distractions are everywhere. But to overcome those distractions, we need to have determination. If you are not determined for devotional service, we will be distracted by everything. So determination. Prabhupada writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila purports that if one does not have determination, even the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot save him. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. One should cultivate that determination. How do we get that determination? Read the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Repeatedly read the story of Dhruva Maharaj. And associate with devotees who are more determined than us. These are a few thoughts. But let me give a very simple, actionable tip, if you can follow. Try to maintain a diary and start noting down your heart. Spare 5 minutes in your day, if not 10 minutes, or at least 2 minutes, and keep writing. Did I become more Krishna conscious than yesterday? yesterday my consciousness levels were like this, or last week or last month I have been like this. But is there any improvement in my japa, in my sadhana, in my seva, in my sadachar in the last one day or 1 week or 1 month? Time to time assess yourself, reflect, analyze yourself, honest reflection. Don't write something to encourage yourself or discourage yourself. Be honest, be rational and be honest, and then write your current state of consciousness, and then when you put it in writing and put it in front of the deities, express it to the Lord, and then pray for strength. Oh Lord, I want to upgrade myself. Now there are mobile phone, there are so many apps, right? Every time they say updates. After a few days, an update is there on the Gmail app, update on WhatsApp app, this app. Similarly, we need to update ourselves, upgrade ourselves, right? So for upgradation, to facilitate that upgradation, constant reflection is very beneficial, and reflection is nicely facilitated by writing. Keep writing your feelings. Make sense, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Next question. There are so many questions. Mata is also one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just as you have explained, like multiple paths given in the scriptures, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, everything. But we have to choose the Bhakti Yoga. But we saw many others are choosing other paths like Dhyana Yoga or Jnana Yoga. So is all the will of Lord, or it depends on our past karmas or our thoughts, how we can understand?
You cannot say it's will of the Lord. We can say sanction of the Lord. In reciprocation with your desire or your mentality or your svabhava, the Lord allowed you to do that. Right? So we develop that svabhava, that nature, or that inclinations to perform other paths according to the kind of association we keep. And we choose association, we make choices. In short, we all are parts of the Lord. He is supremely independent, we are minutely independent. So which path we will pick up depends on the choice we make. That independent, how do we exercise that minute independence? So if you make a choice to associate with a Mayavadi, associate with a Jnana Yogi, associate with a Karma Yogi, associate with a Dhyana Yogi, or associate with an atheist, we will develop similar kinds of inclinations. Associate with a drunkard or a smoker, chain smoker, we will develop similar kind of associations. So it all boils down to how do we maneuver our minute independence.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, extremely grateful for the beautiful teachings of yours. One question I have is, we always talk about bhav in bhakti, whereas on the other hand, we also talk about the, let's say, aparadh or offenses, which may also be unintentional, and even if they are intentional, we feel a lot of guilt. That we try to improve ourselves, we promise ourselves to improve or work on them. So how do we understand this dichotomy?
Anarthas?
One is that only bhav is seen in bhakti, whereas we also talk about the aparadh, which may also be unintentional from our side. So both of these things, how do we understand?
To give a more encouraging answer, in Kali Yuga, what goes on in the mind is not taken very seriously by the Lord. Thoughts are not taken very seriously unless the thoughts become negative actions. However, if you don't curtail those thoughts immediately, if you don't curtail the negative thoughts, they may become negative words. They may manifest as negative actions also. The passing negative thoughts, we are not penalized so much. That kind of concession is given to us. Kali Yuga minds are very distracted. Manda sumanda matayor manda bhagyopadrita. So they are not taken, we are not penalized for them so much. But if you are not careful about those negative thoughts, they will become actions and words. Then we will have to face the repercussions. So as far as refining that bhava or emotions is concerned, we have to prioritize it. We have to prioritize to streamline our emotions, to refine our thoughts, to develop the right kind of feelings and desires by offering prayers, by spending more time in hearing and chanting, and associating with devotees who are more favorable in their Krishna consciousness, who have favorable intention. And what I spoke to this Prabhu is relevant also. To refine your bhava, writing will help, reflection will help, honest introspection will help. Write down, today I have these thoughts, negative thoughts. Today I became little jealous, envious of this devotee. Today I became angry with that devotee. Today some lusty thought passed my head. So I need to improve. Oh Lord, I want to really get rid of this thought, this emotion, this feeling. I want to have loving feelings towards you and your devotees. I don't want to get rid of these nonsensical thoughts. Please help me. So by regular reflection and introspection, we can get rid of negativity and imbibe positivity in our thoughts. Does it make sense? Does it answer the question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. Thank you for this wonderful lecture. As you tell that Devahuti and Kardama Muni both have material desire, but the consciousness to please Krishna. Sometimes we also desire material desire, but we cover it by saying that we have desire to please Krishna. We have own desire to please us, but we take the name to please Krishna. So how we can overcome from this?
Okay. Sometimes we say, this is Krishna's desire, but it's our desire. Right? Now, Devahuti and Kardama Muni did not have material desires, by the way. Their desires were not material. They were spiritual only. Devahuti's desires seemed to be material at one point. When she said, I want children, I not love of God at this moment. But that's also under the umbrella of the Lord's plan. But in our case, whether our desires are spiritual or material, whether the thought or desire or feeling or aspiration or something else that appeared in my mind is according to my mindset, my mentality, or it is inspired by Krishna, to analyze that, you can give some liberty to another devotee to correct you. Present your thoughts or desires. Now you spoke about desire, right? Present your desire in front of a more mature devotee, whom you trust, who loves you, who cares for you, who knows you nicely, right? You present it in front of your parents, mother or father, or some trusted friend, or a well-wishing senior. You can present in front of them and ask their review. Take 2 reviews from peers. You have your friends, all children are sitting. So you have your friends, you ask them. You have your seniors, ask them. Some senior review, some peer review, and your own honest introspection. So is my desire in line with Krishna's desire? They will give a review. That will give you some kind of indication whether the desire is bona fide or not. And also, for every small thing, we don't have to think so much. That is like, as in Prabhupada's language, it is paralysis by analysis. It's okay. I want to eat a laddu. Is it Krishna's desire or my desire? Eat laddu and then move on. Don't think so much about it. Right? If it's something major, you can reflect. For every small thing, don't keep on overly thinking. That also sometimes we do. Small things, it's okay. Leave it. It's not forbidden anyways. Does it answer your question? In short, the actionable point here is take reviews. from your friends and from your seniors. Next.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you Prabhuji for this wonderful lecture. Prabhuji, my question was that we often hear that each service is of equal importance. Like if you are moping in the temple or you are doing deity worship, you are reading or anything. So why we classify different rasas, some rasas superior and some rasas inferior?
There is gradation everywhere. There is hierarchy everywhere. In material circles or spiritual circles, there is hierarchy. There is a significance of certain task. Whether it is brooming or mopping or worshipping the deities or hearing class or giving class, leading kirtan or following in kirtan, everything is ultimately spiritual. Right? However, there is a gradation of certain importance, right? There is some skill set associated with it. There is some significant, for example, doing arati. It's a wonderful service. Anyone can pick up a flower and then do like this, right? Flower plate, you take flower plate and then just do. But everyone who has the ability to circle their hands will be allowed to do arati. There is a pujari, there is a Brahman initiation, there are protocols, there are standards set, and you need to take bath and you need to be in fresh clothes and you need to be authorized pujari, you should be on schedule. There is something given, and depending on the occasion, different pujaris are scheduled there. So all services are great, all services are spiritual, ultimately meant for Krishna, but some hierarchy, some gradation, some significance factor is associated with different services. We are not belittling any service, but we are saying that there is also a sense of importance. For example, while Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing Gundicha Marjan, he personally cleaned the Simhasan where Jagannath is going to sit, and he asked other devotees to clean the courtyard and the room and the ceiling and the floor. Why? There's a gradation involved there. Similarly, coming to rasas, Yashoda Mata is in Vatsalya rasa. She is the supreme devotee of Krishna in the Vatsalya flavor, in motherly affection. But Srimati Radharani, she is the best in Madhurya Prema. Now you cannot make a one-to-one comparison between the way Radharani loves Krishna and Yashodamata loves Krishna, or Sridama, Sudama, the Gopa friends of love Krishna. Everybody loves Krishna, everybody is completely satisfied in their own rasa, particular relationship with Krishna. In that sense, everything is spiritual, all are great. But if you do an unbiased comparison, Madhurya Prema is more complete compared to other rasas. Let me give a simple example. There is a 10th-floor building, which is the highest. 10th floor. How can you say 10th floor? Same architecture is there in 5th floor also, 4th floor also, 3rd floor also. Same architecture is there, same number of rooms are there, same building materials are used, same paint is there, same furniture is there, but still 10th floor is top. 5th floor is in the middle, ground floor is on the ground. Right. From 10th floor, the view that you get is totally different from the view that you get in 5th floor. However, somebody who is living in 5th floor is satisfied. He has no aspiration to become a resident of 10th floor. Similarly, somebody who is in Sakhya Rasa is completely satisfied with his Sakhya relationship with Krishna. Somebody who is in Dasya Rasa, for example Hanuman, he is completely satisfied in his relationship with Lord Ramachandra as a Das, as a servant. Jai Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mahe ki Jai. So they are satisfied. It's not that all the Gopas are aspiring to become Gopis one day. Because Madhurya Prema is higher than Sakhya Prema. So one day we have to give up these Gopa forms and assume Gopi forms and dance with Krishna, have Madhurya, have Rasa Leela with Krishna. No. There, eternally they want to jump like frogs along with Krishna, dance like peacocks along with Krishna, and make faces like monkeys along with Krishna. They are enjoying that. So, when you do an unbiased comparison, Madhurya Rasa is highest, next is Vatsalya, next is Sakhya, then next is Dasya. There is a gradation, there is a hierarchy. But one who is actually there in the experiencing that rasa, for them that is the highest. Makes sense? Thank you. It's 9 o'clock, beyond 9. How many more questions we can take? This is my 5th class today. My throat is already... Okay, I'll take your question. Youth. He'll ask a youthful question.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the class. My heartfelt gratitude for you. I just wish to get a clarity. You mentioned that Kardama Muni did tapasya for 10,000 years and he asked Lord Vishnu in turn for a good wife. We see in the same literature in the next canto, the Prachetas, they were also going for tapasya for the same instruction that Kardama Muni got. But in the same literature, to the same instruction, two contrasting examples comes. Like one chose to not go back to Godhead at the same instant when Lord Vishnu appeared and asked for the good wife. But the other one, when Narada Muni came, they all went back to Godhead, rather not choosing to serve for the progeny of the creation. So just wish to ask Guruji.
1 minute. I think you are kind of mixing two things. Prachetas were instructed by Prachina Barhi. 10 sons of Daksha. Daksha is the son of these 10 Prachetas.
Daksha sent his sons for the...
They are Haryashvas and Shavalasvas. What do you want to ask? Prachetas or Haryashvas? You wanted Haryashvas.
Narada Muni
Oh,
instructed.
okay. Now I got your question. So Narada Muni instructed this 10,000 sons of Daksha Haryashvas and 1,000 sons of Daksha Shavalasvas to, he did not instruct, he inspired them. He hinted and they all became sannyasis. So what is the question?
In the same literature, to the same instructions, there were two contrasting examples.
So Shastra is like a mother. Mother may sometimes hug the child, sometimes may scold the child in reciprocation with the child's mood. Similarly, Shastra may present very, very intense and strict examples and very, very liberal examples, and sometimes two totally contrasting or contradicting, apparently contradicting examples, but we need to see the context of them to understand it properly. So what Haryashvas and Shavalasvas did is perfectly correct. That does not mean what Prachetas did or what Kardama Muni did is wrong. They are also perfectly correct. Although their decisions may be totally opposite to each other, it's the intention behind the decision that matters the most. Lord Brahma instructed Kardama Muni to create progeny. He did 10,000 years of tapasya and then he entered household life. But he prioritized self-realization. And after Devahuti gave birth to Kapila Dev, he retired. In that sense, he fulfilled the instruction given to him by Brahma, and he also prioritized his self-realization. And in Haryashva's case, they prioritized self-realization only. They did not fulfill the instruction given to them by their father, because father is materialistic. He is not as good as Brahma. And also, more than analyzing their father's character, they felt a sense of urgency to dedicate themselves to the Lord completely. Thus, they are completely correct. For example, Brahma just created 4 Kumaras and asked them, you create progeny. What did they say? 4 Kumaras, we will not. We will not create progeny, we will be brahmacharis. We will be Vasudeva Parayana, forever we will be like this only. What did Brahma say? no, you must marry. Did he say that? Continue. So Brahma accepted it. He became slightly disappointed, but he accepted it. So we need to value, we need to respect their emotion. If they prefer to be brahmacharis, let them be brahmacharis. If they are okay getting married, let them get married. And if they are okay, or if they prefer to be in married life for some time and then retire at an appropriate time, respect their choice, as long as they are doing with integrity, honesty and sincerity. If they are doing anything adharmic, you need to correct. Indra did something adharmic, he is corrected. But although what Prachetas did, what Kardama Muni did, what four Kumaras did, what Haryashva Shavalasvas did, although there is a lot of contrast in all these examples in response to the same instruction or same situation, all of them are correct. Because they did whatever they did with pure intention. You say we will dress the deities in blue color. And this Prabhu says we will dress the deities in red color. And this boy says we'll dress the deities in green color. Who is correct? All are correct. All of you want to serve Krishna, but you have your own preferences. You have your own approach. Intention matters. Hare Krishna. We'll conclude here.
His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu Ji ki. So we are very, very thankful to Prabhu Ji for delivering this series summarizing the third canto. But the devotees were saying that Prabhu Ji has mentioned it quite a few times that I have to rush. So the devotees are requesting from next time you have to arrange things so that he doesn't have to rush. So for that Prabhu Ji needs to come here more often. Maybe after end of every 3 chapters of 4 canto we need to invite Prabhu Ji. That is what the devotees are requesting. So very, very thankful, very grateful to Prabhu Ji because it was not in his schedule. He changed his schedule to come here. We are very thankful to you, Prabhu Ji. It really helps us. It really helps everyone. It helps us to elevate our consciousness. And we could see the way devotees were enthusiastic in asking questions and coming in the day and the evening. They have to go for work tomorrow, but then also. So thanks everyone and thanks to you, Prabhu Ji. Thanks very much. Out of gratitude, we like to give you some gifts. This is special gift from ISKCON Dwarka, and cakes and cookies are special of ISKCON Dwarka. Thank you very much, Prabhu. His Great Gaurang Darshan Prabhu Ji ki. So I'd like to thank Prabhu Ji by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu Ji ki. ISKCON founder Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.